Thank you, Kim. Yes, so I will reintroduce myself. So my name is Tatenda Blessing Muchiriri, and I'm the chief dreamer of Monastery on Wheels, which is a mobile learning program here in the United States that seeks to expand the access of education. So in a way, we are reimagining the ways in which education can be accessible outside school, which I think you're very much familiar with the program that you're involved with, Elevate, that is working outside school to be able to support you so you can integrate back into schools more as confident learners who are more equipped to learn and to excel in your studies. So we are doing something similar, but though we are focusing more on parents as educators, like what else can we do if we are able to empower parents to be able to be more involved and active in your learning, so that when you go to school, you are very much aware that the community around you, including your parents and your adults in your life, that they're very much interested in what you have to learn and you're learning. So in a way, we are co-creating learning in ways in which it hasn't been reimagined inside schools, but outside schools into the community. I'm going to share a screen here. And the way that I like to have this evening sort of progress is going to be very interactive. So I'm not so much of a preacher. So if you have come to church, you're in the wrong Zoom. We are all going to participate tonight. So I'll have opportunities for you all to share your voices. Again, tapping into the power that's within you that already exists in your voice. I think as students, one thing that I think of when I used to teach in the classroom was always in ways in which I can empower students to be able to elevate their voice and to center their voice. So I really invite you all to feel more compelled to engage, ask questions, and share your voices as a way to start this year. And if there's any secret to your success, it is your voice. If you're able to ask questions, one thing that I know as a classroom teacher is that students who are able to excel, they're those that are able to ask questions, who are able to really have their voice heard in the classroom, be it to the teacher, to the adults, to their friends, and to their peers. So I really want to invite you all to use your voice tonight as well, as we help each other think about ways in which we can start strong. So if I can also do another quick check in the chat, if you can just tell me your grade level so I know who I'm speaking to. If you're in high school, if you're in middle school, if you're in primary, or if you support learners. So if you can let me know as I get my slide deck up here in a minute. So it looks like we have high school students and those that help high school students. Amazing, perfect, lovely. Okay, so really what I really want us to be able to walk away with tonight is this idea that of seizing the day, right? That we need to make our lives extraordinary, right? I myself for sure know that I hate to live in the ordinary. There's something boring about just being ordinary. So today I want to challenge you to tap into the extraordinary. And I know this is a concept that is a little bit foreign to some, right? Especially if we exist in different communities and societies where being extra sometimes is seen as not fitting into the normal life. But one thing that you should know as a high school student, as a young learner, is that you gotta be extraordinary. If you have to seize the day, if you have to excel, if you have to really tap into your brilliance, you have to almost go above and beyond, right? And there's nothing that can limit you other than yourself. So one thing that's just in between our success right now in school, with your studies, with your peers, within your community, is this idea of yourself, seeing yourself as very small. And I hope that tonight we're gonna all walk away very much empowered to think about ways in which we can be extra in ways we can shine. So with this, I'm going to start with another exercise. Again, I told you I'm all about getting us situated and getting us tap into ourselves. And you're going to find this exercise very useful in ways in which you're able to relate to what that word that you chose in the beginning of this call, and the ways in which we're thinking about how we can progress in the next coming 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing so I'm able to like sort of see everyone on the screen. So I'm going to give you 4 situations. These situations really involve movement. So if you're able to move, good. If you're not able to move, that's okay. Just think of those movements. I hope you're able to sort of get those movements in your head and be able to like assimilate how that looks like for you if you're not able to really engage in the movement. So I'm going to start with one movement. You are running late to school. You are almost late to school, right? And you have to like run late. So think of yourself in the morning, getting ready, you're going to school, somewhere you got delayed and you have to get to school and you're running late. Can you just think of that movement? And if you can, move fast, move as if you're running late. Whatever, how that looks for you. If you move, if you're biking, if you're driving, just think of that experience of running late to school or running late to a meeting or running late to your tutorial. And you're trying to call Kim, you're trying to call your teacher, right? Just think of that movement, right? Did we do that? I'm gonna need more than nods because I can't see people, so I need sort of like a vocal affirmation here. If I did. If I can't hear people, I'm gonna call your name because I can read some names on the screen here. So if I don't hear anyone talking, I might end up just saying Tiffany or and out. But anyways, okay, another movement. So think about it's a Friday. Gosh, it's been like an exhausting week at school, be it maybe an exam week. You're just tired. You just can't wait to get home. You are just tired. So can you just like walk as if you're tired or like just being in that movement where you're really, really, really tired? I don't know what that looks for you. It could be like you're just like dozing, you're almost like in between sleep, or it could be you just can't even walk, or you're trying to get somebody to come pick you up because yourself, you can't just walk back to school or walk back home or like bike home or taxi home. Did we do that movement? Did we sort of like think about that movement? Because some of this movement, I hope you might have experienced at some point, right? There was a time when you were late to something. There was a time when you were tired, right? Okay, another movement. This, I want you to think about, there's a lake, right? There's a lake or there's a dam or there's water that is frozen. I think once upon a time, is it 2 years ago when it was so cold in South Africa that it snowed, right? I think it's a few years back. So think about there's a lake. There's a lake and it's frozen. So it's like ice. And you're trying to walk on ice. How do you walk on ice? If you're to walk on ice, can you sort of like try to walk on ice? All right, last movement. This is gonna be fun, if not my favorite. Stars, we all love stars, right? Shooting stars, whatever stars. Try to reach for stars or for the sky. If you don't like stars, if you like the sky, can you do a movement of trying to reach for stars, like trying to catch a shooting star? You're trying to catch something in the air that you really like, that is very shiny. Let's do that movement. Perfect. I see some smiles, mean to say that this is fun. All right, so we've heard about 4 movements that we just did right now. And I want you to think about, of those 4 movements, what is one movement that you really, really resonate with? You say like, oh yes, I really know how it feels like to walk tired. And I want you to come out of mute and share a little bit about that movement. Just share like, oh, I really can relate to being late. I'm always late. Oh, you know what? I'm always trying to catch stars. Oh, you know what? I'm always trying to walk on thin ice. Is it Joanne?
Yeah, I can relate to being late to school because I just can't find the motivation to wake up to go to school, and relating to a Friday afternoon when you've like had a terrible week. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Yes. So sometimes I might have a hard time pronouncing your name. So if you have your hand open and up, just come off mute and talk, please. I see Leslie.
Yeah, I'm not a student anymore. I was many, many years ago. But I can relate to walking home whilst very tired on a Friday, and you just want to fall asleep literally as you're walking.
Yes. Kimberly.
I can also relate to walking home. I mean, tired and late. So walking fast and really slow, and yeah.
Nice. Sydney or Tando. Is it? No, not Tando. It's Tabo. Is it Tabo? Thabo. Kamwendo.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the running late for school, or running late for class. That energy, all that energy to try and get to that class so that you're not that odd one out when you get there.
Nice. Thank you. Seth.
I can relate to being tired on any other day of the week, just like lacking motivation to just do anything when you come back from school.
Nice. I can relate to that. Trust me. There are days like that for sure in the life of a teacher as well. Yeah. I'm gonna have two more before we can move on. Is it Anout?
No, my hand is not up.
But that's okay. Yeah, your hand is not up, and I'm calling you because that's what teachers do. We want to
Okay,
voice.
so I joined a little bit late because I was struggling with my device, but you still talking about what I can relate to of the scenarios that you described, right?
Correct.
Okay, I can definitely relate to being late, and everybody in my life knows I cannot get anywhere on time. I have some kind of anxiety where I just, even if I wake up super early, I will not leave the house until I'm late. I don't know. So I can definitely relate to that.
Thank you for sharing that. One more. Is it Tiffany or Tiffany? Tiffany Zonga.
Okay. I think I can relate to the one on walking on ice because I think I'm always anticipating the next step to take. Or if I'm about to take a step, it's like, should I do it? Should I not do it? So yeah, I think I relate to that.
Thank you so much. I was hoping that we have someone who can relate with the working on ice. Anybody who can relate with the trying to reach for the stars? If you can hear a little bit about your experience with this idea of trying to reach for the skies or the stars, just trying to get something that is not of reach or that could be of reach, depending on your height or how you relate to it. Leslie, is your hand still up or was that before?
That was before, but I'm happy to, yeah, I'm happy to share about trying to reach for the stars. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to be cool. I'm just trying to put my thoughts in a cohesive way. But yeah, just certain goals that I have for this year are quite difficult to reach for, but I've just tried to organize my thoughts and just do those sort of like organize step by step to reach for those stars that I need to get to.
Nice. Thank you. I think I have Sydney on this as well. Then I can move on.
Well, yeah, I can relate. I can relate to reaching for the stars because for the sky, In fact, because I want to be something that not everyone would want to be. Because in my family, there's like less expectations. Not a lot of people are like up, up, up. So like I want to be the first. So like I really need to do well this year.
Thank you for sharing that. So as we move on, I want you to think about these movements, right? If you are a teacher, I want to speak to the teachers first, or to the tutors. Think about our students on call today. Every day, they are coming into our space with all these experiences. So when we tutor them, when we help them, when we guide them, right? Are we giving them that same experience of walking on ice, or being more cautious? Are they tired? If they're tired, what are we doing to sort of like re-energize them, right, to learn it? Or are we giving them stars to reach? And how it's scaffolding them so that they're able to really reach for those stars, right? If they're running late, what are we doing to accommodate, right? Some of them, like Anna, who might have social anxiety. I can relate to that. There are days that I really don't want to leave my house, right? It can be scary to go to school. It could be their first day at that school this year, or first day in your tutorial class today. So it might be hard for them to just take that leap of faith that what am I going to do is going to help me, right? Be more vulnerable with my learning and what I want to learn. So I just want us to think about that, right? And as also as students, think about how are you communicating your feelings with your teacher, with the adults in your lives? Do they know that you're really tired? Do they know that you're really having a hard time grasping those concepts that you have to learn? Do they know that you want to reach for those stars, that you're that ambitious, that you want to break that cycle, right, in your family, to be the first one to go to college, be the first one to excel your is it A-level? How do you call your high school examination in South Africa? The matric, right? Is it? Something like that. Anyways, so this, I hope it situates us just in ways in which we have to think about the way we communicate our situations, our feelings, our hopes, right? And also the way we are helping our young learners, right? So as we start this year, again, we need to elevate. I keep going back to the elevate, right? Our voice, because I strongly believe that when you have that voice, when you're able to own your voice and share that voice, that's how you start to excel in everything, not just your studies. Because learning is all about how you are interacting with the concepts, right? And your tutors, the adults in your life, your teachers, your parents, whoever is helping you, they can only know when you have made that known to them. So really getting your voice at the center, in the front of your learning is what's going to make the difference this year. And I know that you do have it, because if you are a high school student, this is the year that you actually have the voice, right? Young people are not afraid. We've seen that in the past few years, how they have like really able to make themselves known, be it via the internet, be it via the ways in which they show up every day in their lives. So you can do the same thing with learning. The idea of schooling or education really is not about the teacher is the one who has the knowledge, but these are the adults that have chosen a path where they can help young learners learn. So they're there to help. They're of service to you. So the way that I think of teachers to me is that they are guides, right? I think it helps sort of like reframe the way in which we think about them, that they're there to guide that learning. They're there to say, hey, what can I do to get you to where you want to be, right? And also as a learner, you're also asking the same question, like, can you help me to do this by myself, right? How can I do this so that I'm able to excel in this? And I'm going to share back my my slides. Can you see my screen here?
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the story of once upon a time. So once upon a time, I was a high school student just like you. I don't know if you can see me there in the picture. I know I look a little bit different from now because it's been about 20 years. But once upon a time, I was also a high school student. I was nervous. I was anxious. I was also trying to reach for those skies, right? But what helped me was being able to know who is in my circle. I'll tell you this quick story of my mother. My mother is one of the person that I really think as somebody who helped me like excel in my studies. So what happened is I was not a very hardworking student in primary. I like to play. I was like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What else is there to do in life than play, right? I was very playful in primary. So my parents, including my brothers, I have 4 big brothers, they were just like hopeless. They were like, oh my gosh, what is he gonna do? He loves to play, he's always outside, right? So they were a little bit worried. I don't think they were that I was not able to perform well, just that I didn't have more focus on learning, right? Learning as it pertains to like school, like the academics. So what happened is when I was in high school, when I went to Form 1, 2, 3, my mom told me that I would want you to choose friends. I would want you to choose friends that are very smart. Whatever definition of smart was for her, our parents, they're talking about those friends that are number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 in your classroom. They say, choose those friends. I think her idea was if you are surrounded by friends who are really into their studies, who love learning, who are curious, who are asking questions, who are doing homework, there's no way that you're going to not do that, right? Because these are your friends. These are the people that you like to play with, you want to be with around all the time. So I ended up choosing those 2 of my friends. They were like the best girls at school. They were very studious. They were like, in the A class and all that kind of stuff. So it helped me sort of like reframe the way that I think about schooling and the way that I was spending my time. So I was able to spend time more with my friends doing school. So I'm saying this to say that look around and see your friends. Like, what kind of friends do you have, right? Are these friends that help you with your studies? Are these friends that you guys talk about geography? Do you sometimes talk about math? Do you sometimes wonder why the earth is flat or round, or all those concepts that you learn in school? This helps with translating what you are learning in school and what happening in your world to be more like blur those experiences, right? Because I think education or learning is only difficult when we think of it as separate. When you think of it like, oh, I only learned this in school, so then it's so hard. But if you think of it as something that you also do at home with your friends, with your tutors, with your parents, with your brothers, with your neighbors, then learning becomes so easy because you're surrounded with learning around you all the time. Think of the little kids, right, in their kindergarten years. The idea of them wanting to go to school and be so excited about school is because everything is new to them, right? There isn't any idea of like school is different from home is different from at the plaza or at the mall. Everywhere they are, they're always learning, they're always absorbing this information. So I think that really helped me to center myself when I was in high school in 2003, that I was able to choose friends around me who were able to, if not doing something else, we are talking about school, we're doing a homework, they were almost like people who were there to help me with accountability, right? Like, have you done this? Have we done this? Have we, what are we thinking about our history lesson, our history assignment? What are we thinking about our, chemistry, right? So thinking about friends who are around you who are able to help you. I was going to read this poem, but I don't think I will. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you all very quick to take a minute to just like read this silently, right? I don't know if you can see it from your phone or your computer. If you can read this poem and just shout out or put in the chat any words that really speak to you or things that you're thinking about as it relates to this poem. So I'll give you 1 minute to read through the poem. And if you have any words that you really like, you can share them with us, or you can come off mute. Or if you don't want to come off mute, you can just type it in your chat. The idea is to really think about what the poet is saying, right? As you think about the way you're studying this year and the way that you can tap into yourself and share some of those gifts that you have, some of those things that you know best that people don't know that you know, and that you might know, but you might be anxious to think that really do I, right? So yeah, I'll give you 1 minute. I'm gonna be quiet in a minute here. So
Okay. What happened to the rest of it? What's on the I will. Before sale. And when you left.
All right. Can you hear me, Kim? All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm going to stop sharing. Then I'm going to invite you to just like share any words that came to mind as you were reading this poem. What resonated with you? What spoke to you? Ryan?
I really like the first line of the poem, which states that your life is a ship which is laden with meaning and purpose. So I like the use of metaphor there because it brings out a strong point that our life serves a certain purpose. You know, we may possess various skills, maybe in sports, academics. So that first line really encourages me to use all the skills that I possess in my day-to-day life to help make a change in other people's lives. Because it actually states in the second line that these skills that we possess are really needed in this hungry world. So if we make full use of our skills, it can actually help change the lives of other people.
You know what, Ryan, you have just finished this motivational speech. I have nothing to say. What else can I say? You've said it all, right? Thank you so much. And out.
I think just to add on to what Ryan said, I liked that first line as well, that talks about, you enter life with, a ship, you have meaning, purpose, you've got gifts, and what you need to do is to give back whatever it is that you have. You need to give it out there. And I think it ties in nicely with the last part of the poem where it says the world may not know it is starving, but the hungry do know. So I think what I'm getting from this is whatever gifts you have, whatever it is that you feel compelled to do it. It might not be for everybody in the world, but there is somebody out there in the world that's going to benefit from it. So it does nothing for anyone, not even you, to keep all of those things locked inside you. So I think for me, it encourages me to just go out there and do my thing. And, even if it benefits just one other person, it's enough.
You know what I like about what you just said? Go out there and do my thing. That's where the secret is. Go out there and do your thing. It is your thing. Go out there and do it, right? I'm going to move us because I have something to share as well that you might like. So I was going to share a little bit about my story as the chief dreamer, aka Tubalami. So growing up in high school, I had this nickname, Tubalami, which I think translates to "this is your time," right? Because I went out there and I did my thing. So my friends saw that and they said, guess what? This is your time. You're doing debate, you're doing public speaking, you're doing all this kind of stuff. So they sort of spoke into existence what I wanted, what I was supposed to do. And they said, hey, you are Tubalami, go and do your thing. So it's not surprising right now when I think of myself and I look at myself right now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I was able to come up with this big organization in the United States. I was able to dream about that. I was able to do my thing because guess what? It is your time. It is your Tubalami right now. It is your time to do it. Go out there. Again, the world may not know that they are starving, but guess what? When you share your gifts, when you share your talents, when you share your brilliance, and you do have that brilliance, the reason that you're here today, you actually know that you do have something in you that you want to share with the world. So don't be afraid. Don't limit yourself, right? And this is one of my favorite video. And I think
research shows nostalgia.
Can you hear the? Let me know if you can hear the audio.
Yes, we can.
Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Period. Is there anything else to say here?
Nope.
Oh, can you share more? I heard a voice. What spoke to you on the video? Anyone else? What came for you when you heard Will Smith in that episode of In Pursuit of Happiness? I do have, is it Tabo? And please help me pronounce your name if I don't do it well. Is it Tabo?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that thing of not letting anyone tell you how to do it. And excuse me, it's specific. Even those who are close to you, you don't let them tell you that you can't do it, you know.
Yeah. And I like the part where it says when people don't have anything to do, they will tell you that you can't do it. Right? But you know yourself that you can. Is it Kimberly? Your hand is up.
Oh yeah, about that actually, I've noticed. So in high school, there's this subject called physical sciences. A lot of people are afraid of the subject. People say it's difficult. Even maths, actually, people have a lot to say about those two subjects. But people are different. If something is hard for someone else, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be hard for you as well. So just because someone cannot do something, it doesn't mean that you cannot do it. So you just have to go out there and do your thing. Block out every noise coming from everyone else and just go for whatever. Like, do your thing. Yeah.
Do your thing. Do you know the song by Rihanna says do your thing? If you're like, I might play you the song before we end. But anywho, what I'm saying is, what I think Kimberly is also saying, which I really like here, is the idea that we're always afraid of physical science, subjects or mathematics. One thing that I found about math, I was also not so good in math until I discovered as a teacher, when I started teaching math, right, especially little kids, is that math is a language. So the reason why some people don't get it is because they don't understand the language. Or it could be that our tutors, so this is a challenge to your tutors on the call, to like really think about the language, the ways in which we do math with our students so that they can understand, right? It took me 30 years to know that multiplication is addition. And how many students right now that are going through high school, they don't know that multiplication and addition are the same thing. That if you're multiplying something, you're just adding it more, right? But we're not taught that in school. We are taught like 5 by 5, 5 times 5, and you should have the answer, right? But what if we say 5, take it 5 times, how much is it? So this was just a challenge to teachers to think about ways in which if kids are coming to us and they're a little bit nervous about those subjects, how are we making it more accessible so that they can understand that this is easy, right? We can talk about matter, we can talk about this, right? So that they have the language, they have the understanding, so that when they then do their tasks and their exams, they actually know. Enoch, is your hand up?
Oh,
And
yeah, it was up, but sorry, let me put it down. It was up, but it's already been said, what I wanted to say.
guess what? Repetition really helps to learn. So can you say it again, what has been said, so that we know what has been said?
Yeah, I was just gonna comment on my favorite part on that video. In fact, I really loved that part of that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, where he says that if you have a dream, you have to protect it. And it just reminded me of something I read a few days ago that said, if you tell something to a small-minded person, or maybe just to the wrong person in general, they'll discourage you, tell you, no, you can't do that. No, you can't be a doctor, you can't be. But I like that it says if you have to protect your dream. So you have a dream, you can do it. There's nothing impossible. I think I had a student earlier saying that he resonates with reaching for the stars because he has he wants to be something that nobody in his family has ever been. And perhaps if he tells that to somebody else, and tell him that no, like, are you joking? You're never gonna do that with this. But I just think it's important to hold on to our dreams. We can reach for the stars. we can really do anything. We just need to protect the dream and then continue working towards it.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna try and go back to my screen sharing. Yes. So just to double click on what Enout is saying, that we need to protect our dreams. There's something to be said about dreams. And I think you all know dreams as being something very important to our culture as people from Africa, that we just don't dream, right? And I think science has it too, that when you dream, you're actually processing something, right? So when we think about something that we really love, right, that you really, really, really cherish, and you have that, right, not just like in the dream of just like sleeping at night and you're daydreaming or you're just like dreaming things, but something that's in your heart, right, that then becomes your dream, something that you hold true to yourself in your mind. And this call to protect that dream and to not let anyone tell you anything about it. Because again, you know the star that you're trying to reach. You know where you're trying to go, even if you're running late. You know where you've been, even if you're tired, right? You actually know. So to end this, I want to just invite you all to share your voices. So I want to hear as many voices as I can. So you're going to read a line. We're going to read this with those who are going to volunteer to share their voices with us tonight, to read with us each line here. So you can just volunteer to read the first line to where it has a full stop, and then somebody can read the next line, so we can just finish with this quote. And don't raise your hand. Can you just like read it? Because I can't see if I'm showing my screen. I can see like there are people with their hands up. Like I think it's Tabo. If you can just like start us up. So if someone finishes, then you can just continue. Yeah.
We can see you are sharing the screen, so it's okay.
Interesting.
So if you can see the hands, then it's okay. It went away now. Just share one more time.
Is it there? Can you see it?
Yeah, now it's back. So even with the hands, I'm sure you'll see it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate.
Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Your playing small does not serve the world.
There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
We are all meant to shine as children do.
There is not.
It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone.
And as we let our own lights shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same.
As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
Thank you so much for sharing your voices with us. I hope this will sit with you as you start this year strong, as you let your light shine so that others can also shine their light. There's something in collective, in being in collective, right? When we're able to do our own part in the ecosystem so that others can also do their own part. So don't limit yourself. Never limit yourself. And I'm going to say what Enoch said, go and do your thing. This is the year to do your thing. So let's think back as I close this with you to that word that you shared. Now think about a word that you want for this year. What is going to be your word? I want to hear your word, Kimberly. Like this year is my word. So when you meet Kimberly, you're going to see that word all the time. or are you going to remind Kimberly to tap into that word, right? I know for this year, my word is strength. So I want to tap into strength, right? Like, I really want to be confident. That's how I think of strength for me. So my word this year is strength. So I want us to just shout our words of this year.
Mine is elevate.
I am going for the word resilience.
Mine is restoration.
You're not ready to say your word, you can type it in the chat.
Mine is perseverance.
And Kim, do you mind to read those that are coming through the chat?
Okay, from Charlene, we've got confidence. And Monique, I'm with Monique. She wants to say something. Okay, from Ryan, we've got persistence. You can keep them coming, guys.
Tap into your power, do your thing, please. It starts with a word.
From Joanne, we've got calmness. Optimism from Tiffany. Keep them coming, keep them coming. Sydney, Davison, I want to hear from you guys. Ayanda.
Mine is like 2 words. I don't know if it's fine. So mine is do the work.
Seth, we've got awareness. From Katina, we've got persevere. Sydney, always working. Okay.
All right, thank you so much. I hope you stay true to your word this year as you tap into your power, into your lightness, into your calmness, into your persistence, into your perseverance, into your strength, into your elevate. Thank you again for having me here tonight.
Thank you so much. We really enjoyed that. And to the people that were our guests as well for tonight, do you guys have any questions for Tatenda Blessing Chiriri? Any questions? You can raise up. One. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Oh, Katina, you can ask.
Okay, I just wanted to say to Tatenda Blessing, thank you so much for quite an uploading speech there. It was quite motivating. And so are you still teaching now, or just doing maybe the directing, or director of the company? So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part. What was it? It kind of got cut off.
I said, are you still teaching? Are you a teacher, or you are just directing that company?
I know. I don't know if you, you end up not teaching. I think once a teacher, you're always a teacher, right? I do both, actually. I love teaching, even though I'm the executive director of this organization. I still find time to teach. So I do volunteer a lot in different classrooms here in Denver. because I just love teaching. I just think there's just so much power in being able to guide and elevate the next generation of of our learners. So yeah, I still teach. Not as much as I would want to, but I do teach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that's it. Can we just make Tabo the host? There's something that I'd like to show you guys before we wrap up.
I did, yes.
All right. Right. I'm just gonna wait for Tabo to share something that I want to show you guys.
Just give me a second.
And thank you guys for showing up. I know you sacrificed your time. You could have been watching TV. You could have been, I don't know, covering your books or something like that, but you chose to be here. And I know that this is going to help you. So yeah, you made a good decision, I guess.
Almost there.
All right. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you a little bit about us, Elevate Tutorial Services, to those who've never heard of us. We are an online and in-home tutoring service